Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's upload, we will be talking about, obviously, the weather, but more importantly, about the long-range pattern that will be taking shape across the United States into late this week, into the weekend. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the Southwest. The heat, it is rather unusual, and also a potential tropical disturbance towards, again, the kind of the latter part of the week into the weekend across the south. So if you guys are new to this channel, hello, welcome. Check out this channel. Feel free to see what this is about. I do the weather. I'm a hobbyist, not an actual professional meteorologist. Some people really want me to say that. And obviously, if you are a returning viewer and subscriber, liking the video, or if you're not a subscriber, that would help out a ton. And otherwise, let's get into this. So I want to start off by looking at the radar of, sorry about that, the lower Canadian area and into the United States and northern Mexico. Notice that we do have quite a bit of activity towards the eastern part of the United States, not so much across the center, a bit towards the south. Again, nothing I would say too unusual. They've actually been very wet, and these storms in coverage are a bit usual, well, less than we've been having, but that's good. They're a bit too wet there. And then on the other hand, the Southwest has been just bone dry, and they need some rain, but it's just the heat, the main story. Notice across Florida we have quite a bit of showers and storms moving along a cold front. There's actually two, one further back across the Northeast, but notice this one bringing rain and showers and thunderstorms into cities like Tampa, Miami, Orlando potentially. And notice we do have a bit of a northern ocean from some showers across southern, really into Cuba and just into Miami. You can see there's a nice thunderstorm right there moving right into Maples in the next really probably half an hour to an hour. So yeah, that will definitely be an ongoing trend. Notice the south, we do have kind of a weak shower front. Again, nothing too unusual. Here though, we did have severe thunderstorm watches. Again, mainly all expired. But there is still potential for it. Look, into New York, potentially some showers, some storms just north of Philadelphia. Some of these obviously will be packing a punch of wind, probably some small hail. Some of these are definitely severe warned if you're to take a look at it. Notice that the watches are still up. I think that they will be into 2 a.m., so not really an overnight threat, just kind of the first half of the night. But notice some of them are severe warned. Notice, look at that, quarter size sail, 60 mile per hour wind gust. So yeah, definitely just something to keep an eye on for. Further west, not much going on. To southern Canada, also a chance for some showers and storms, some severe thunderstorm watches, and one stray severe thunderstorm into Wyoming, which has actually a pretty large hail. What is that? Golf ball size hail. That's definitely significant. So that is that. Notice further across Canada, we also have some watches. Let's take a look at the National Weather Service map. Weather Ready Nation. Here are again the watches. You can see it's been wet across the south. We do have quite a bit of river flood advisories and warnings and whatnot. Notice the heat across the southwest. That is the issue here. Let's take a look at this. Last time I clicked on Las Vegas. Let's see if we could click on a different location. Let's just go somewhere in Southern California. So right now I think it says 62. I don't know how accurate that is, but maybe it is 62. Maybe a shower is passing through or whatnot. But okay, notice 105, 112, 114. They again very very hot, and yes, it's usually hot here, but again, if there's a excessive heat warning, that indicates that it's probably hotter than usual. Let's look at the California, the Sierra Nevada, kind of the valley area. There's a lot of large cities here. Fresno, let's take a look at that one. Notice again, it is going to be hot today and tomorrow and tomorrow, right, Wednesday, but it really could get very hot into the weekend, into Friday, Saturday, 109, 10, 104, into the triple digits. So if you thought it was hot today, again, get ready for quite some stuff. What's even more concerning is, the Southwest is usually very, very warm. But look at Montana. This is Montana. Usually when I say that word, people think of, oh, cold, snowy, right, mountains. Well, look at this. We actually have excessive heat warnings. Let's take a click on Glasgow, and you'll be shocked how warm it could be here. Look at that. 103. That is hot. That is very, very hot. And look at the days after the jump, right? So thankfully, this won't be long-lived like it is across the Southwest. But 103, all the way by the Canadian border almost, that is very, very hot. 77, 76, that's the normal temperature. Look at that, 103. Insane how it's just going to be such a strong anomaly and such a brief one at that. Take a look at Miles City, again, 107. Goodness, that is extremely, extremely above average. Let's take a look at Billings. And then notice we have 106 Fahrenheit. In terms of the capital, Helena, it is not. I don't think it's in a heat watch. It's just as a red flag warning, but still, look at that. 100 degrees right now, 95 tomorrow, so it's going to cool off gradually, though staying a bit warmer in the longer term. So yeah, definitely quite a bit of heat. And elsewhere, really nothing too extraordinary. And let's take a look at the. I already showed you the radar. We looked at the National Weather Service map. Let's take a look at the European model. So again, I was talking about the long range because in a short range after today, notice a bit of showers across the west, right? A bit more activity across the northeast into tomorrow and overnight today. So that will definitely be something to talk about. But notice it comes off the shore and generally a very, very quiet week. Few disturbances. It will be rather warm across some locations. Notice, I mean, for the first time, the south is mainly dry, the north. But look, by Friday, you can see this is now Thursday into Friday, so 80 hours of almost rather complete peace, other than southern Canada. This storm that's sitting right there. Right now will actually continue to kind of unfold, and that will bring a cold front, a powerful one, across the Midwest, which could actually bring some severe weather into Thursday into Friday. But notice, right here, across the south, we have an approaching slug of moisture to with a tropical storm. I don't think it's named yet, right? It's an invest at this point, at least when I'm recording this video. We'll have to wait and see. Again, a massive hurricane isn't likely, but it has a lot of rain. It's rather slow moving, and on top of what's been going on here with all that flooding, not good. Usually a tropical storm brings a lot of rain, and that's enough of a concern. And with the amount of rain they've had, not good, not good whatsoever. So yeah, notice that storm system across southern Canada drags a cold front across Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan. Again, the European kind of underplays this compared to some other models. We'll have to see. This could be a decent severe weather threat for the Midwest on Friday, but as it moves into southern Canada and the Northeast, it could again duplicate that again on Saturday. So or Friday night into Saturday morning. But look at that. As we speak on Saturday, look, we have that tropical system move on shore. A lot of wind, a lot of rain. That's the main story. You can see it's not awfully strong, but it is slow. You can see it's not a quick hitting storm. It usually, they could just take a hit and go. This one kind of glides across the south, moves into Alabama, Georgia, and it combines with a low pressure from the south. And look, we see a lot of moisture, potentially against severe weather outbreaks going on across the northern plains, kind of the central United States. That's good. There have been pretty dry weather here, so they need that. But again, you can see it gets a lot more active next week. Not only is this cold front, this tropical storm, but this tropical storm then moves inland and continues very slowly, and it combines with a system across the central United States. So that is already a lot more activity, and these two kind of just dance in parallel. Look at this one. This one really turns into a significant system. This one, look at that, 992 actually intensifying as it goes along the shore or along the coast. So yeah, a lot of rain, very slow, and look, it actually continues intensifying as it pushes into the northeast. And again, it wouldn't be a tropical storm since it's intensifying on kind of the land, but definitely stronger winds at this point. Probably stronger bands of rain and thunder, but it is a bit quicker as this low pressure's cold front gives it a kick in the boot, gives it a kick from the boot, and it starts speeding up. Notice behind that, however, it's not quiet. We start seeing storms, like kind of what we've been having for the past month across the south, start up again, except this time it's not limited to the south. You can see it starts going to the north. Again, a lot more activity, a lot of these cells, or a lot of these kind of clusters of showers becoming active again and way more widespread compared to this week, right, which is pretty much dry. It's kind of the calm before the storm, as there will be many of them. And then again, most of the U.S. will be impacted: the Northeast, the South, the Midwest, the Northern United States, excluding the West, which is probably what needs it the most. And the Northwest will also be kind of missed out on a lot of the precip, but at least they'll get some. But yeah, look at that. That's not good. Notice where speaking of where they don't need it, 7-8 inches right there across the South. They definitely do not need that much. And then notice up here, kind of more scattered. Again, it changes based on each forecast. So we'll just have to wait and see. You can see, though, that the tropical storm has been consistent with the models to bring, or tropical storm, tropical depression, or whatnot, whatever you may call it, tropical disturbance, to bring quite a bit of rain here. Let's take a look at the GFS model. Notice I just want to show you that this is not the most updated model run, but you can see right there, the GFS definitely brings in more activity to the north. to the west and to the east, a bit even across the southeast. Look at that, or southwest into New Mexico. Quite a bit of rain. Again, this does go out further, but again, it does show a lot of rain right there, and this would be well welcomed rain for many locations across the central United States. A bit dry, across eastern Texas, maybe northwestern Louisiana, but again, this exact track of this is a bit shifting still, and it's not pinpointed, but definitely will be making its way onto the south, or at least its impacts with some sort of rain and wind. Let's take a look at the GFS. I showed you its precip, but let's take a run through its forecast. You'll notice that, again, we have that cold front, that low pressure across the northeast. Apologies about that. And it gets scooted off very quickly. Then we're quiet. We start seeing that cold front get active across Thursday, Friday. Notice, again, the GFS brings in a lot more activity. A lot of these cells could be a bit stronger. Then look, on Saturday, we see a repeat just further to the south. Obviously, the tropical disturbance from the south is moving to the north, delivering quite a bit of rain, equally as slow, maybe a bit faster than what the European model does. And it doesn't really keep it intense like the Euro that rides it up the coast. It just kind of lets it fall apart. But notice, it doesn't mean anything. The activity is still there, just a bit further towards the north. Notice that line of storms developed there. Across Minnesota still has that giant low pressure developing, and that pretty powerful cold front as it rides up the northeast coast. Then we see more activity. You can see the GFS really just shows clusters and clusters of these storms. Maybe even some sort of a ring of fire pattern, as there's a high pressure parked here. Some of these storms just kind of going over the same area, one after the other. Yeah, definitely keeping it active. And again, it does include New Mexico and portions of the southwest in that. A lot of activity for sure, and that's why the precip would be so much higher. Okay, so let's take a look at the Canadian model right before we wrap this video up. This is the Canadian GDPS. Notice there's our cold front today across the northeast. It pushes off. There we have that low pressure across southern Canada. Not doing much up until the late week. Again, maybe a few showers and storms across upper plains. There's our tropical disturbance, keeping it a bit further to the south for sure than the other models. But definitely bringing in some of that rain in by the weekend. The Canadians, cold front across the Midwest. The Great Lakes, definitely a potential to be severe, just it keeps it a bit weaker. And then look, we have a lot of precipitation residing across the southern United States. Canadian definitely still showing that. It doesn't really have one uniform low pressure though, kind of riding up. So more of a tropical rain storm, kind of just the rain, not actual system with the wind and everything. But notice we do see that large low pressure develop. And what did I do here? Okay, there we go. It looks as if it's this website's had a few glitch hours here. But notice that low pressure does develop. And again, if you recall, the European combines the tropical storm with this low pressure. But in this case, the Canadian and GFS do not. And you can see it does turn pretty big, wraps, shoots up a lot of moisture up the northeast coast. But again, it is a bit more active, and you can see actually some pretty cool air developing there. In terms of total accumulated precipitation, again, you can see the heaviest towards the south, obviously, but decent amounts to the north and maybe even portions of the southwest. And I wanted to take a look at the temperatures. Yeah, look at that. This one keeps the temps a bit cooler for sure. The Canadian, especially, look at that across southern Canada. The thing is, with the temperatures, I do want to touch on that quickly. It looks warm, obviously, for the southwest, and many areas will be hot. But as you can see right there for the European, there will be a cool-off probably coming towards the central portion of the United States towards the end of the long term. Notice, right, so warmth the rest of this week, maybe a few areas that are cooler, especially the northeast. But look at that. After that storm system develops, as you can see up until now, the cool air masses just fall apart by the time they reach the U.S. and don't really do much. But with that storm system that develops early next week, it brings in quite a bit of cool air, and that cool air is enough to cool things off. You can see definitely. But still, the south, the west, and extreme east stay rather warm. And the GFS sticks with a similar scenario. Let's go to the updated one. And I guess these are our temperature anomalies. So notice, right? Again, cooler it has on certain days, Tuesday, Wednesday, but the heat that is right now across Montana does shift to the east, but it doesn't really retain its as strong of an anomaly, right? But it's definitely still warm. Notice some cooler batches in there, so no really giant heat wave according to the GFS across the central U.S. as there was like last week. So that's good, but again, there's our cool off from that low pressure. And it does bring in obviously some warmth, but definitely several areas seeing pretty chilly air. That looks probably pretty nice for those folks in Montana right now under those 100-degree temperatures. So yeah, we'll have to see. But again, summer, no big pattern changes where it's constant cold, constant heat. It's a mix where it's cloudy one day, it could be a cooler. Where it's sunny and warm, the temperatures could really shoot up, and it depends on kind of the wind and its direction. But yeah, the bigger story will be the precip, the severe weather potentially, and obviously the tropical storm disturbance across the south. So before we fully wrap things up, I want to bring in a climate prediction 6 to 10 day outlook. Notice this is from the 20th through the 24th, so in 6 days, spanning a 4-day timeline. Notice it is a bit cooler, and that's probably indicating that storm system that will be coming across and bringing those cooler temperatures. Notice that's pretty cool. Across the central U.S., though, keeping things warm across the west and the east. Notice also increased precip. Notice they're obviously indicating that tropical storm moisture, but also just the severe weather probably potential. It may be a bit less because of cooler temperatures, but again, it will be warm. It's just maybe not as warm as it has been, a bit cooler than average. So in terms of, instead of 80s, it could be a lower 80 or upper 70s. And notice the west, a bit drier, especially towards the northwest, but the confidence isn't too high across the southwest and kind of the western plains. 8 to 14 day outlook, which is again further out. Notice they're keeping that trend of cooler temperatures, but notice a big kind of cooler air potentially getting in across the southwest. But generally, temperature pattern stays similar, and so does the precip pattern. A bit wetter, a bit drier towards the west, though again, the confidence is not really high. So that really does add up with what the models are showing, especially the models like the GFS, Canadian, and really the Euro, all of them. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And this is a GFS ensemble that I just wanted to look at out of my own curiosity, so I'll show you as well. Notice, again, the GFS, these are ensembles, so this isn't just one model, this is like 50 combined. So it could give us a better view on, look at that, yeah, see that little blue area, that could mean that cool temperature anomaly, but notice, in a longer term, it does warm up, or at least become zonal, so, warmer Pacific air. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya, bye.